Oh, on my way going way up there. Sup, bitches? I'm back. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sher Tamble, and I am here today because this bitch right here, has finally decided to watch Riverdale. I just finished watching Riverdale season 1, and I have a ton of shit to say. So let's just get right into the video. I really wish I had some iconic Cheryl quotes written down to use as my introduction, but I don't. And I've only watched season 1, so maybe I'll do it when I watch season 2 and I make another video. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So, when season 1 first came out, someone hit me up on Instagram. I'm not gonna say names because I don't know like how they feel about it. And this person asked me if I would watch Riverdale for them, and this was right when I was like at the pit of my like Shadowhunters career. It was just like I was getting like 500 views per video, and I just like felt like the shit. So she asked me to watch, and I went ahead and I watched like 3 episodes or so, but I never made any videos about it because I couldn't get into it. Something about it just felt really fucking corny to me, and for whatever reason I wasn't feeling it and I wasn't in the mood, so I ended up not ever continuing the show. But it's been probably at least a year since the first season came out, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna give it a go. So I watched the whole season 1 of Riverdale with my sister within 3 days. There were only 13 episodes, which is nice. It was really short, so I could really decide if I liked it or not. But honestly, I still don't know if I like it. But at the same time, I couldn't stop watching, so I guess I do like it. So if you've never watched Riverdale before, Riverdale is a story about a very small goody-goody town where one of the Golden Boys, whose name is Jason Blossom, goes missing. He was like the quarterback of the football team. He was captain. He had this adorable twin sister, and they were like the Golden Boys of the town, and his family like was running this like huge maple syrup business, so they had a whole bunch of fucking money. This shit is so fucking corny. Okay, this boy goes missing. He and his sister on July 4th took a boat out to Sweetwater River, which is what their river is called in Riverdale, Sweetwater River. So they go ahead and they take the boat out, Sweetwater River. It tips over. Cheryl makes it out of the river, but her brother doesn't. Jason does not make it. And now Jason is missing. Later on, they decide to bury a casket and they presume him dead. But then his body shows up out of the river, and guess what? He's got a bullet wound in the middle of his forehead. So now this drowning, this accidental drowning, has turned into a murder investigation. Who killed Jason Blossom? Hashtag Riverdale Strong. We are introduced to some characters. We have Archie, aka Archibald, who is the new, younger Golden Boy. All of these kids are supposed to be 15. Fun fact, the actors are probably like 25. None of them are even close to the age 17, which baffles me still. Like, I hate when they do that, but that's a whole nother conversation. We meet Archie, and we meet Betty, his best friend, and Betty happens to be in love with Archie. At the same time, we're also meeting the narrator, who is Jughead, who is the outsider from the wrong side of the tracks. We meet Veronica Lodge, who is the girl from the city, New York City. And these 4 kids all come together and end up becoming great friends or whatever. Then we also have Cheryl Blossom, who is the sister of Jason Blossom, who's really trying to figure out what the fuck happened to my brother, obviously. This show is ridiculous. Even just doing this introduction is just so fucking cringeworthy, and I love it. Like, it's so stupid. Basically, the whole plot is who killed Jason and who knows something about Jason's murder, because now it has come out, since there was a bullet wound in his head, that Cheryl is lying. And that somehow he either got out of the water and she didn't know, or she shot him. She was probably the last person to see him alive, da 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 da. And everything kind of is surrounded by this murder. And like, who killed Jason, what happened to Jason. But then we're also being introduced into these people's lives. So we have Archie, who is the main character, who is like this Golden Boy. He's been working at his father's construction site all summer, so he got hot, and you know, he has a body because he's like probably 25 in real life. He's got like this banging body, he's a redhead, and Betty is in love with him. So in the first episode, she's like, I just need to know, Archie, do you love me? Do you love me? And he's like, bitch, no, I don't. Like, you're my best friend, but I'm not in love with you. And that causes some strife, and he makes out with I keep wanting to say her by her first name, Camila, but Veronica and him go in the closet at Cheryl's party, and they make out, and that causes a whole bunch of strife. And then we have, oh, and then there's also this really cute gay boy with this really cute boyfriend from the wrong side of the tracks or whatever. Honestly, I'm making this video for people who have already seen Riverdale and are just watching someone else watch it for the first time, so I'm not going to be very detailed because I watched this very quickly and I don't remember anyone's names. I kept calling Veronica Lodge Veronica Large. Let's talk about everyone I thought killed Jason. Betty. Betty killed Jason. That was my first thought. Betty killed Jason. I had no idea why she would... I'm out of focus. I thought Betty killed Jason. And then later on, I thought Betty's father killed Jason. And then I thought Polly killed Jason. But for the longest time, I really, truly, truly believed that Betty and Polly were the same person, and I'm pretty sure the show did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure we were all supposed to think that Betty was probably Polly, and that for whatever reason, maybe they were twins and she took on the identity of Polly. I mean, Polly took on the identity as Betty, and then Betty was dead or something like that. I was thinking very Pretty Little Liars, but book Pretty Little Liars for what I thought Betty was. The whole Dark Betty scene with the wig and the bustier and all that stuff, like, homegirl was fine as fuck, but she was also scary as fuck. So I was like, yeah, Betty killed Jason. I had no idea why. I didn't have like a murder like plan. I don't know why I thought she did it, besides the fact that she was really fucking scary. And the actress, her name's I think like Lily Reinhart, she's amazing. Like, she is the scariest, honestly the scariest person in the entire show, just because I don't know what Betty is capable of. And then when we actually met Polly, and Polly ended up being a different person, I was like, oh, okay, so she didn't kill Jason. And Polly was pregnant with his baby, and I was just like, what? What? Like, I was shocked. I did not think that Polly was gonna be like her own human. I was flabbergasted. And then we have Camila, not Camila, what's her name? Veronica. Veronica, to me, is not believable. She's not, even though she's supposed to be like, not necessarily the girl next door, but like the bad girl from the city who's supposed to be like a badass and wears pearls and pencil skirts and heels to school. It's not believable. And every time she has like these showdowns with Cheryl, I'm like, why are people afraid of Veronica? I'm not afraid of Veronica. I mean, I understand her dad, Hiram, is in jail for like embezzlement and fraud and whatnot, but I don't find her scary. I don't find her intimidating. I'm not worried about her. If I was Cheryl and Veronica was coming at me talking about there's a reckoning and that reckoning is me, I'd be like, bitch, shut the fuck up and sit down. Like, girl. I don't, it's not even that I dislike Veronica at this point, but I did think Veronica was a snake because she went into the closet and she kissed Archie, even though she was rooting so hard for Betty to like get with Archie and to admit her feelings. And I feel like women who do that are disgusting and like trashy, and I hate to say that because we should all support women and da 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 da, but when you're out here rooting for your friend to get with the guy of her dreams per se, and then you end up kissing that boy in the closet, it's played out. It's really played out. I was very fond of Cheryl Blossom. She is a whole ass lesbian, and I know what happens in season 2, so I know she gets a girlfriend and stuff, but like, I wonder if they told the character, like the character, I wonder if they told Madeline, because I do watch her YouTube channel, I wonder if they told Madeline, hey, you know, Cheryl's gonna end up, Cheryl's gonna end up dating a woman, so I want you to act a little girl crazy, you know what I mean? Because not that it's expected. And I don't know for me if it was expected because I know what happens in season 2, or if it was expected because of the way she was straddling Lily Reinhart's character in like the 2nd episode. Because I saw that and like my heart started racing and I was like, the lesbian in me just like jumped out, you know what I mean? I really like the gay boy. I really like him. I don't know his name, so I don't know his name, and I'm sorry, but I'm never gonna know his name. I liked him and his boyfriend Joaquin. They were very cute. Joaquin was fine. And then the whole idea of the Southside Serpents is really cool to me. I didn't talk about them. Let's talk about them. So when you're from the other side of the tracks, On the south side of Riverdale, there is the Southside Serpents. And they're a biker gang. Everyone's like afraid of them, and they're all drug dealers and scary and threatening and da 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 da. And Jughead, who is a part of the Riverdale squad, is just not about it. He's like, they're not like that, and they don't do this and they don't do that, but they kind of do. And it turns out his dad is a serpent, and that's like the big secret he was keeping from everyone. And this kid also, oh my god, Jughead had the worst monologue of the show. And I remember when everyone was like clowning him, like they were clowning him so fucking hard because of this monologue on Twitter. I wish I had a beanie. Oh, I do have a beanie. Okay, pause. We'll be right back. Betty, if you haven't noticed, I'm a weirdo. This is weird. I'm weird. I don't fit in. I'll never fit in. Have you ever seen me without this hat on? That's weird. I'm weird. Da, 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 da. It was so bad. Like, I can't believe they did Cole Sprouse like that. They gave him this ugly ass monologue, and I was disgusted. I was absolutely disgusted. He was like, I'm weird. Have you ever seen me without this hat on? That's fucking weird. And then literally, like, later on in the same episode, that ass, he took off his hat and they had a very intimate moment, and it was very cute. I like Jughead and Betty, and I'm glad that she found someone and she's not like continuously being thirsty over Archie, because Archie at the end of the day doesn't really deserve her. I feel like he's a very like not a shitty human, but like a human that could do better. You know what I mean? He could do better. So also in this story there is Josie and the Pussycats, which is why I had the cat ears on. I'll pull them back out. Team Pussycats. Josie and the Pussycats, I like them. We know a lot about two of the Pussycats. Josie, her mom, is the mayor of the town. Fuck, what was I talking about? Oh, Josie and the Pussycats. We know Josie and we know Valerie. Valerie dated Archie for a minute, and I got really irritated by it, not because he was dating Valerie, but because they chose Valerie for Archie to date. I don't know if it happened in the comics or anything like that, but they picked the most light-skinned, green-eyed black woman to pair him with, rather than like Josie, the dark-skinned black girl, or the medium dark-skinned black girl that I don't even know the name of. And I just thought that was a little irritating. And I hate that society and everyone who makes these TV shows, they'll like put a dark-skinned girl in the cast, but she never really dates the white boy. And if she does, it's not for long. And then they never get like black women to date black men, and like vice versa, you know what I mean? Like, they always want to do interracial relationships, but then it's either a very light-skinned woman or they get the darkest man and like the whitest woman, and that's just a little played out. There was also a lot going on with the parents of Riverdale. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Betty's parents. Her mama is actually real life insane. Like, she's like insane. Like, I don't know what's wrong with that woman, but she is crazy. And the reason she's so crazy is her husband is even worse. He wanted his daughter Polly to get an abortion when they found out she was pregnant with Jason Blossom's baby, which is why he wanted to leave Sweetwater anyway, because he knew his parents wouldn't be supportive of the fact that he had a girlfriend and she was pregnant and they were engaged and they were running off together. And then on top of that, this dude just had secrets, and the dad found out and they sent her away to the nuns. And apparently later in the past, her mom had a son, and she was pregnant in high school, and they gave that baby up for adoption, but he wanted her to have an abortion as well, the father, which I think is super fucked up. Veronica's dad is in jail, but because of that, because of that, honestly, Archie's dad and Veronica's mom got together and they had a cute little fling or whatever. They was kissing and they was a little thing, and then they started this business together. And then when Veronica's mom found out Hiram was getting out of jail, she was like, oh, I gotta get this man out the business. My husband gonna kick his motherfucking ass. So that's what that happened there. The plot was just insane. Like, this plot was actually real life crazy. Like, There's no other word for it. Like, it was crazy for no reason at all. At all. Like, why was it so dramatic? Let's talk about the dramatics of Riverdale. So, as Riverdale continues, I noticed, personally, a lot of, like, writing troops smushed together into specific characters and then smushed into all one episode. In the first episode, there was, you know, the new girl from the big city. There was, Mom, I'm living your dream, not my dream, and I want to be a singer and a football player. Like, there were so many tropes in this story. It's like the writers and the producers of Riverdale were like, how many teen tropes can we push into one episode to make sure all the teens watch our show and that our show is hip and relatable? Like, they did this episode about, like, sexual assault, and then, like, the maple syrup, or what was it called? Like, the maple nilly, or the maple titty, or something like that. Something stupid. And of course, like, the one dark-skinned black male ended up being the villain in the show. Like, one of the many villains of the show. Which is totally fine. Don't villainize black men. Okay, anyway. I don't know what these writers were thinking. Like, the way these characters speak is so dramatic. And I really wish I had some quotes for you guys. That's what I'm going to do as I start watching season 2. I'm going to write down every dramatic quote I hear. I'm going to write them all down. Because the way they speak is just so unnecessary and so dramatic and so over the top. And, like, no one speaks like this. I don't know what they think teenagers are. I really wish writers of teen shows would actually go to a high school and, like, listen to how teens fucking talk. Because we don't talk like that. And we sure as hell don't dress like that. We dress kind of like Betty. But I've never seen any teenager, at least when I was in high school, dress like Veronica. And I understand she's supposed to be from New York City. But if they were going to do that, they should have made her dress like Gossip Girl. Rather than, like, Teen Mom. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, like, in a bad way at all, but, like, she dresses like she's such an adult, and she's supposedly only 15. Why are you wearing a pencil skirt? I didn't even know what a pencil skirt was at 15. The fuck? And then when we find out who actually killed Jason, it was his father. And his father shot him in the head after Jughead's dad kidnapped him for ransom. And he shot him and he killed him, and this was a week after the whole Sweetwater incident, which was wild. I was pretty shocked. I couldn't really believe it. And then when his dad was about to be turned into the police, he killed himself because it turns out his maple syrup business was actually a drug business, and he was dealing drugs and stuff, and that's why they were living so well, is because they were selling, like, cocaine and, like, heroin and all this other fuck shit. Not even weed. Like, these niggas was selling that white fluff. Like, what? And he killed himself so he wouldn't have to, like, deal with, like, all of the issues that went with what he did, I guess. And I'm still kind of shocked at it because I feel like we didn't get enough answers. Like, even though they came up with the whole monologue and the story of why he would have done it, and, you know, Jason found out how dirty the business was and he wished he would have gave it all to Cheryl because Cheryl could handle it and Jason couldn't. Oh, and then also Jason and Polly are related. Like, the Blossoms and the Coopers are related, so Betty and Cheryl and Polly and Jason were all related. They're, like, third cousins, so that was, like, incest, which I felt like wasn't necessary. It's like they were trying to be the Mortal Instruments, Pretty Little Liars, and Riverdale all in one. It's like they were trying so hard to do all of these cool hip things that they saw in other TV shows and movies, and it was just like, it almost made me throw up a little bit in my mouth. Just the way they're trying to push so many different troops into this whole series, it's actually, like, blasphemy. But it wasn't bad. Like, it's not a bad show. Like, if you can stomach the dramatics of it all, then, like, you're gonna be fine. Oh, and the queer baiting, too. They had Betty and Veronica make out in the first episode, the very first episode, and then they just decided to be best friends and not, like, girlfriends, which was very disappointing. I feel like at this day and age, like, we should just have lesbians be lesbians, and we should just have bisexual girls be bisexual girls. Like, we should just let girls kiss who they want to kiss, and date, not just kiss in one episode for no reason and then never talk about it again. It felt really unnecessary to me, and it made me angry, because if they were gonna be a couple, I was like, oh fuck yeah, like that's cool. But then they both were thirsting over Archibald's ass, and I was just like, oh, okay. Oh god, and the nicknames. The nicknames are so terrible. Archiekins, B and V, like it's just, the show's so corny. And I do know that the comics, the Archie comics, were written in the 40s, which is totally understandable and that's totally fine, but I was just like, wow. Like, and you can tell that they're trying very hard to be new and old at the same time, with the sets and the clothing and like the styles of the hospitals and stuff, and what the nurses were wearing. Like they were wearing skirts and the white like hats and all that stuff. Like they're trying very hard to be old but new at the same time. They're trying to give you that 40s vibe with like the 2017 twist, you know what I mean? Which is fine, I guess, but it's just so dramatic at sometimes it's very easy to fall out of the show. It's very easy to fall out of it and be like, that shit is fucking corny. You know what I mean? Because it is. It's corny and it's dramatic. And not even to say that the acting's bad, but like what they make the actors say and what they make the actors do is very weird. And then the whole like twincest thing that they had going on with Archie, what they had going on with Jason and Cheryl, even though it wasn't really like, it's not technically canon, you could tell that like Cheryl was like madly in love with her brother and he wasn't feeling it, because I mean obviously like he was dating Polly and he was like low-key keeping it a secret from Cheryl, I think. And I feel like she felt really shocked when she found out they were dating and then that they were pregnant and the whole thing. I don't know. The show was a mess. And then at the end of it all, Archie's dad, probably the only decent human being in the show besides his mom as well, he got shot. He got shot by this random dude, and then the season was over and that was it. But anyway, my camera's about to die, so I have to go. The show was good. Overall, the show was good. It was a very good show, and I will be watching season 2, and I will make another video about it. But that's pretty much all I have to say. You know what I mean? Like, because it was so wild for no fucking reason. Like, there was no reason for it to be as extra as it was, but I ate the shit up. I absolutely ate the shit up, and it was great. It was great. It was terrible, and it was great, and I loved it, and I will be watching season 2, so be on the lookout for another video from me. My name is Cher, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!